Alright everyone, Oleg here, and welcome to my show. I'm very sorry it took so long for me to get on the air today. Just still getting used to the new setup. I had a lot of technical difficulties, but things seem to be working now, and the stream now is live. Anyway, I'm going to be going over the various things that... So there's some questions you guys had from the last stream, so I just wanted to go over them real quick. And right now I'm still just making sure that everything is running, that I'm broadcasting properly. But let's get me on the screen here. Alright, there I am. Okay, so right now I'm going to be going through the questions you guys had. Some of the questions that I can answer pretty quickly is this. In terms of where I want to go with this, I intend to do this on a daily basis, but at the same time that when I do this, I intend to make sure that I still maintain my other videos. So don't think of this as a replacement, but simply in addition to whatever else I intend to do in the ongoing channel. Okay, so let's look at some of the questions we had. By the way, I'm here also in the stream. If you guys want to send any messages, if you had any questions, feel free to drop a question and I'll be happy to answer that. But let's look at yesterday's episode real quick here. Alright, let's get that on the screen. Do a screen grab. Alright, so let's go here. Alright, so we are going to look at some of the questions. Let's see here. Okay, so Anne wrote, this is a great idea. Can you accommodate some times for us Europeans? I missed the live stream, sad face, but I have a question about the twizzle and the Argentine tango. How do you practice this one? And also learning and doing rockers or counters. I have problems with checking the turn itself after the twizzle spin. Any tips? Practicing figures also seems to be a good idea. Okay, so there's a couple of things here. Yes, I do intend to make time for you guys, and what I intend to do is that... Let me just switch over so you guys can see me. There we go. Well, what I intend to do is basically, probably on the weekends, I'm going to stream sooner. And it depends upon when I have my lessons, so that's where I got to work out. Like today, I left the house at about 8 a.m. and I did not get back till about 6:30 p.m. So there's just no room. My day consists of waking up, going to the rink, training with my partner Ashley, then going to another rink and training with our coaches Igor and Kristen, and then afterwards coaching somewhere, and then afterwards coming back home through heavy traffic usually. Well, not always, but sometimes. Anyway, so as you can see, I can't really fit in a stream during that time, during the weekdays, but on the weekends, I do coach as well. But I'm going to look for times because I do want to make sure that anyone who's interested can catch my stream as well. And let's see here. I got some questions in the stream real quick. Let me just say hi. Hi, Lily. And student loans are cool. Hi, is skating big in LA? I have been to LA myself for skating competitions, but I have not been to LA in terms of like training. I imagine it's big, but it's not really for dance as far as I'm familiar with. All the teams that I'm familiar with in senior dance, they're primarily on the East Coast. There's a couple of training locations. That's not to say that there isn't good skating in LA, but it's just skaters pretty much go where the coaches are. And primarily the coaches are going to be like in Canton, Michigan, or they're going to be, there's another good set of coaches in Chicago, another in Washington, and of course here where I'm at in New Jersey, a lot of good coaches, and Pennsylvania around the Ice Works, there's like 5 or 6 rinks there, U of D, University of Delaware, Philadelphia Skating Club and Humane Society, you know, there's a lot of different places that are in the area here as well that's good to take from. Anyway, so you'd have to talk to some of the locals, I suppose, but that would be a question you probably would want to put out on one of the forums, like on Facebook, one of the adult groups, so I'm sure they could answer that. Okay, let's see here. Oh, the answers. Yeah, let's see here. Okay, in terms of my plans to travel to Los Angeles. Okay, so here's the thing. I am willing to come pretty much anywhere and do a camp as long as we could work out the details. And this is not so strange. Like, for instance, in Bellingham, a friend of mine, this guy that I used to compete with, not at the same level, but we trained when I was in Illinois together at the same rink, and then he went on to train in Michigan, and I went on to Canada. Anyway, so he's from Bellingham. He came and did a camp at the rink, so it's like, and he flew across country. So I mean, this kind of a thing can be done. When I was with Ksenia, we would do camps occasionally in St. Louis. As a matter of fact, if you look at some of our videos, you probably would have saw us talking about that. So if you're interested, I could definitely do it. It's just a matter of figuring out the details, and what you want to do is message me on Facebook, and we can figure out what we want to do and what can be arranged there. Okay, so let's get back to answering some specific skating questions. Okay, so can you answer that? Twizzles in the Argentine Tango. Okay, so the thing about with twizzles, and by the way, we're going to make an Argentine Tango twizzle. Actually, Nikki and I, because we tested the 4 golds and she passed it, but we missed the opportunity to record it just because we were too busy training for everything. I mean, we wanted it, but we could never find time, because at the camp where we were at, I mean, you couldn't really just go and record because it's just very intense training there. A lot of teams, we'd have like 5 or 6 teams down there at the same time, so it wasn't really, that's why you don't see very many videos that I did when we were up in Canada. Most of the stuff was in Bellingham, but Nikki couldn't really come to Bellingham that often, so primarily the stuff that there's like about 20 videos with Nikki and I, or of Nikki, and we pretty much busted that out in like 1 or 2 days where we were preparing for some stuff, but we just could not get enough open time to do the dances or have someone else record us. In terms of can Ashley and I do it? Yeah, absolutely. We are intending to complete whatever dances still remain that Ksenia and I didn't do, so we will be working on that and getting that out soon, and we're both familiar with the dance, just making sure that it's presentable and things like that, on top of the training we already do. But we have more ice here that we can use, so we can definitely make that happen. And we'll make a video specifically showing you how to practice it. One very good way to practice twizzles, and this is very effective, is you basically take a twizzle and you hold the exit. So in other words, you twizzle, 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 and then you hold the exit edge out of the twizzle, and then the entrance edge on the twizzle. You want to control everything. You want to work through that. If you can hold your exit edge, you could pretty much do it. But there's a bunch of different twizzle videos. Well, not that much, but let's take a look at my website, istanceroleg.com. We go here. Let's go to my videos, see what we can look at here. And by the way, I also made a website for Ksenia and I, Ksenia and Oleg. You can bounce between the two pretty quickly. And again, I still have to put in the latest videos here. Just a lot going on, and I'm trying to get the stream thing off the ground. So, as you can see, just busy. Okay, we have here, I want to go through my playlists. And then, let's see here. Where's my Twizzles videos? Twizzles. Okay, here we are. Alright, so I have some twizzle exercises, and now this right here, this forward outside twizzles, is another good exercise. Actually, my coach Leif taught me this one. This is, you do a twizzle. Now, this goes for any twizzle. I'm not saying you have to do the Argentine twizzle, but you could practice it. Hang on, before I get feedback here, I gotta shut off the audio. Okay, so if we go here, what happens is you can use your guards to actually control yourself. This is pretty cool when you do it this way, and you work on checking yourself from falling. Now, here I'm exiting on 2 feet. Like I said, I'm going to make a video where you do the twizzle and you exit on 1 foot, and that's going to make it another good way to practice twizzles. The biggest thing with twizzles is that you have to work on them every day, and if you do that, then you're going to be getting better and better. And just if you practice them outside of the dance, then you're going to have a much easier time of it. Okay, so let's get back here now. We have next question. Okay, learning and doing rockers or counters. Let's, so I'm already here. Let's go back here. All right, so let's look at my turns videos. We go back to playlists and then, okay, turns. Okay, here we go. So we can look through here. Now I have some of the senior moves, but also look, I have like back outside rockers, forward outside counters. Let's just take a look at one of them. Forward inside the rockers, for instance. Let's take a look here. Okay, and this is when I was here with my first season with Ashley, and we go here. Okay, so this is just an exercise you can do, for instance, on the line if you just wanted to work on it by itself. If you're having a hard time doing it as part of a sequence, you want to take a turn and you just want to polish out the turn by itself, really understand the technique. However, there's something that skaters are going to run into. They may understand the technique, but they just can't do the turn. And for instance, here, what often happens is a skater unravels and they just can't hold the exit edge. Okay, so what you want to do in that case is you want to work on your basic backward inside edges, if that's the edge you're falling off of. Just edges down the line. You work on that and do that as part of your warm-up. You do that, then that's going to make all of your turns significantly easier that utilize that edge. And that's one of the things. If you have very strong edges and good control, and not just control like, let me explain for a second here. Okay, so in terms of like, if you were talking about figures, now, I was not taught figures. It's something that I've thought about making videos of, but I want to make sure that if I do it, it would be like passing figures. So, I don't know, I'd have to like test them or something, because I don't want to make a video and make claims about something that I'm not very familiar with. It's like with jumps, you know, the stuff that I did with jumps, it was, you know, I'd run it by Nikki. I was like, okay, so, you know, we work on that together, worked out the video. I recorded my voice, but it was really, you know, I talked to her and made sure that I understood what she wanted to do correctly, what she wanted me to relate to correctly. It's the same thing with figures. If I'm going to go into figures, then I would have to make sure that I am fully competent and capable. But in terms of would that help or not? See, skating, as we skate it, like we skate programs, and they're very dynamic. There's a lot of rises, changes, transitions, passes. It's very acrobatic. And while figures is very good for control, and so is moves, by the way. It's very good for control. What you want to do is a lot of dynamic exercises where you go through, like, for instance, if you just go holding a static position in, turn, static position out, while you could eventually have a really good turn, it won't necessarily translate to a very good program turn. I mean, it might, if your overall control is good, but you also have to have really good knee and ankle control and being able to skate at different levels. So, for instance, all right, let's see if I can find this real quick here. All right, I think I put it in, well, let's find out here. It's probably in edges. Okay, so, let's see here. Like, for instance, the brush ice inside edges. Again, it's an extreme exercise, but that works on different levels. But this one right here, and I know you guys watch these two a lot. The one with Laura and I, the basic forward edge exercise, and the basic backward edges exercise. So, these two, this is something when my partnership with Xenia ended, but I started my partnership with Laura shortly thereafterwards. Then we worked with our coach Leif, and he taught us this exercise. It's a really good exercise. So you go here, and now watch the knee and ankle action. See, look, the knees and ankles are forced to work. When you press your knees, you want to be able to push your knee right here, several inches past your toes. Wait a minute. I just want to make sure you guys are seeing what I'm talking about. You are probably not seeing what I'm talking about. Let me do this real quick here. There. Okay. Now. Alright. So. Okay, so your knee has to be several inches past your toes right here. And then now watch the dynamic action. See, you want to press and rise. Just, here I go. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. You work on this in a circle, and that really is going to make your edge control a lot better and your ability to skate effectively. So you want, and then eventually what you want to do is you want to incorporate very dynamic exercises. By the way, since looks like I was broadcasting talking but not exactly showing, let me see if I can find, let me see here. Okay, let me see if, okay, first I'm going to just quickly recap what I was talking about on twizzles. So what I went is istandsforoleg.com. I went to play right here, went to videos, and then from videos I clicked on istandsforoleg.com, or you can do playlists. By the way, if you click on videos you can just scroll down. And then we talked about twizzles and control exercises. The twizzles video is right here. So the one we were talking about is like the shoulder exercises one was right here. These two are the ones we were talking about. Okay, so let's see what's going on over here in the live stream. Let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna. All right, so we have a few more people watching. I'm saying hello to Mengjing Ying and hello to Baba or Baba. Tell me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Okay, let's see what we have here. Read your comments real quick. By the way, I'm reading all of your stuff. I just want to talk about what's relevant here. Let's see here. It's basically watching your videos for your efforts. By the way, I really appreciate all of your comments. Thank you. Your support means a lot. Okay, so you're frustrated and you wanted tips for crossovers. Lost balance while switching feet and fell back on my head. Okay, first of all, I hope you did not get a concussion on that, because that can happen. And if you got a concussion, make sure that you have been okayed by your doctor before getting back on the ice. So that's something you want to be very careful about. If you fall back, hit your head. I mean, one of the things you can do is you could, just by wearing like a hat or something, like one of those winter caps, it is going to provide a bit of padding, but you want to be careful not to hit your head as much as possible. It's very dangerous stuff. But unfortunately, it can happen anywhere. You can fall down and just about any time. I've seen coaches fall down. I've seen, even in games, I've once, because I'm a photographer, and some of the stuff that I've done photography for is hockey tournaments, and there was one particular high-level hockey team that I used to shoot for, and the goalie, one time during a game, he's standing on 2 feet, nothing's going on, he just collapses. Just like, this guy should never happen to him. He's a high-level skater. I mean, like, I'm talking about as a hockey player, but it can happen. It can happen anywhere. I've seen coaches just fall down and collapse standing on 2 feet. The point is, there's no such thing as absolute safety on ice. But you do want to be careful as much as possible. Getting back to what we were saying, tips for crossovers. Okay, so getting back here, and what we want to do is crossovers and backward edges. Okay, let's see here. Yeah. So backward stroking. Let's go back here. What I have. I don't know if I have specifically backward stroking, but let's. And that's one of the things. You guys make your requests, and if I don't have a video, I will be making a video for you of your requests. I'm working on getting all the rest of the moves in the field out. So a lot of the things that you're looking for, you could probably find in moves in the field playlist. But moves in the field doesn't have a specific stroking backwards the same way it has like a forward stroking exercise, like a forward perimeter stroking, but there are exercises that will definitely help. Okay, if you go into my stroking playlist, and by the way, a lot of these, if you can do it forwards, you can do it backwards, like stroking double presses. This is just forwards. You can just as well do this backwards. I'm going to show you real quick here. Okay, so jumping ahead, let's right up about here. Okay, so like for instance here, I'm doing this forwards, but it can also be done backwards. So, and I will be making a video for you later. And this is what I was getting back earlier. You want to push your knee past your toes. Really focus on pressing into your ankles because you can bend your knee without effectively pressing your ankle, and you won't be able to skate effectively. It would be like running in like clogs or something, you know, or having cement boots. If you do not use your ankle, you will not be able to skate effectively. And part of that is if you cannot press forward off ice, you might want to loosen up your boots a little bit. I'm not saying you have to have them super loose right away, but for instance, when I get a new pair of boots, I always make sure that I could press right away. So I don't necessarily tighten them as much as I need to, or I might not tighten them to the topmost hook. But it's one of those things, you want to be safe, but being super tight is not going to help you skate. And you want to have ankle strength. By the way, this exercise could also be done off ice. Let's take a look at that. We're going to come back to this in a minute. But if you go back to playlists. Okay, I stands for Oleg off ice. And okay, I'm going to show you a couple of exercises. This is a really good exercise I was taught many, many years ago. Well, this is back in my first rink. I was taught this exercise. Of course, I didn't use it. Had I used it, I would be a much better skater now. But basically, stand against a wall and look at the press. You line up your heels, your hips, and your shoulders. You have an axis that runs it. I call it the axis of stability, but basically, you want to work on this press. Do not let your heels lift off the ground, keeping your hips against the wall. And let me just make sure that you're seeing me. Or I'm sorry, you're seeing the video, not me. Good. So you got your shoulder, hip, heel axis, and you just do this maybe 3 times a day if you can, or even once a day, whatever you can do. I use this as part of a warm-up, and this is a really good exercise. It really gets you working on your knees and ankles properly. Push your knees several inches past your toes. You do it off ice. Now, you make sure the small of your back is firmly against the wall. You press your belly button to your spine. You make sure you do not arch your back like right here. If you do that, that's not good. Your head does not have to be against the wall. All right, now the one that I wanted to show you specifically is here, this one. Okay, so all right, so let me jump ahead. Okay, so as you can see, now I'm hanging out around some ruins where it's my thing sometimes. You know, if I find... Now, this is actually part of a park. This isn't like some crazy place, but this is some old structure they had here. I think an old folks home, but it's really cool. So I took some video here, and it's a park. This pathway through here, people walk their dogs all the time. So anyway, what happens here is you just stand on one foot, you pass. Now, watch this. When I pass my free foot, I'm not actually brushing it against the ground. You do this by lifting your hip. So what you want to do is your free hip, you want to lift it so that your foot can pass about an inch from the ground. And you do this for control and for proper stroking position and for turnout. So this is a really good exercise. And another good one, this is another off-ice. Now, the reason I'm showing you off-ice videos is a lot of skaters, they don't have a lot of time to train as much as they would need to really be able to skate effectively, or they can't afford the ice. There's any number of reasons. But all this stuff you can do over at home, really. I mean, you can do it anywhere. You can do it on the beach like I'm doing it here. But what happened here is, this is right after Ashley and I, we tested and passed her free dance, her senior free. We did this in like 2.5 weeks or something. And right after the test, I went to the beach, and this is, I forget exactly where this is at, but it's in New Jersey, and that's the Atlantic Ocean behind me, and it's just so nice. I recorded like 4 or 5 videos. It was a very productive day, I gotta tell you. Passing moves, and then going on to making 4 or 5 videos. Now, this right here, the way it works, let me see if I have a side view here. Let's see, alternating your feet. And guess I did not. Did I do a side view? Guess I didn't. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to press down so that you want to touch your elbow against your knee. The key is not to lean toward your leg, but simply to press down, and your elbow touching as a consequence of that. Alright, now let's get back to some skating videos. Back to playlists, and we go to, okay, stroking. Getting back to stroking. Alright, so what I was saying earlier, we have, here we go, crossovers, exercises. Wait a minute. Actually, no, this is going to be in edges. Crossovers are good, but specifically what you're looking for if you're struggling with back crossovers, actually, I would rather you work on this edges video right here. Here we go. Okay. So, this is, I was actually just talking about this one, but I'm coming back to this because I don't know if you saw it in the video. Okay, jumping ahead, we have, alright, here we go. Pump with the outer foot, and then you pass your free foot back and forth. Now, this does not necessarily have to do with passing your foot. You can do this by keeping your feet together, just pressing and rising. And what you want to do is, here we go, just jump back a little bit. You can do this on the wall right here, for instance. And you can do this in a straight line, or you can do this off ice. But all of this exercise, now this might be a little too difficult to do with the leg passing like this if you're struggling with back crossovers, but even just gliding and then pressing, or just holding your edges on a circle, just edges. For instance, here I'm doing pumps, but you can just as well just skate on one foot straight up. Let me show you. You can skate just like this straight up and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then pump, changing feet, glide on the other foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The key is you want to have strong edges, and then you want to be able to have dynamic knee and ankle action. I mean, you're going to find that I'm going to bring that up again and again and again. So that's what really makes a difference in terms of your skating skills. It's going to make it a lot better. So anyway, now that's kind of where things are at, where what you got to do. There's going to be a lot more videos coming up, and I intend to do this every day. It's just, like I said, today was a late episode because I had problems with my technical difficulties in my setup. But keep sending me your questions, and let me just see if there's anything else I wanted to cover. Just real quick here. I just wanted to read through the rest of the comments from yesterday's episode. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. Anyway, keep sending me your questions and requests. I'm going to try to aim for about 20 or 30 minutes each day, and I think it's going to be great. I mean, I'm hoping this works out, but yeah, keep watching and leave messages and tell me what you think, if there's anything you want to improve, if I make some kind of, like, for instance, if you can't see me or something like that, something's just not working, or the audio is really wonky or something, just hit me up, tell me a message. And by the way, thank you all for your very nice comments. Greetings to Chelsea here. Chelsea, I hope I pronounced that right. I'm sorry if I butchered it. So thank you everyone that watched. Let me just hit you guys up real quick. Thank you all. Okay, and then we're going to keep doing this. So tomorrow, hopefully I've got everything worked out now. I think I have a much better idea of how to keep this thing operating. So what you want to do is expect me to do this at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I think that's, if we're talking about Greenwich Mean Time, I think that's, let's see, that's probably what, like 3 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, something like that. But anyway, we'll try and keep this up, and again, I'm gonna try and work it out so that you guys in Europe and other places, that you can all be able to catch it live at some point. So I'm gonna keep working on the exercises and the videos. Okay, so the video itself will be up for, you can go back and rewatch it. So every live stream I'm gonna post. So, whatever happens in them. And again, it's unscripted, so I'm gonna make mistakes, or there might be like audio failure or something like that occasionally. But I think that the more I do this, it's gonna get better, and hopefully things will keep going well. Alright, well anyway, If you want to help me out, keep liking and subscribing. That means a lot to me, and it shows that you care, and I really read your comments, and I really appreciate it. And you could always help me out. If you want to send me a few bucks, hit me up on Patreon, or you could always send me something via GoFundMe. So I have a GoFundMe with Ashley, and then, you know, my Patreon's been the ongoing one. And I really appreciate you guys' support. And, you know, like I usually do, I'll keep thanking you in the videos. So look forward to that as well. I'm hoping to get 2 videos out this week. Right now, I'm working on the last of the moves for Juvenile. That's going to be the 3 turns, so hopefully that will be out later this week. And then I'm working on another video. I promised a while back to do the additional videos for the Hydro Blade, so I have the footage of that. I just have to put everything together, make sure I write it up well, and all that stuff. So hopefully those 2 will be out this week. Although you never know with me, I might just throw something totally different out. So we'll see how things go. And again, I really appreciate everyone for watching. So this is going to be it for tonight. And have a nice day, and keep skating and keep trying hard. And best of luck to all of you, and I will see you tomorrow.